everybody. Sorry about the lateness. Ooh, my lights are like ridiculously bright in my light in my face. So I'm trying to adjust my lighting. I'm trying to adjust this lighting, y'all. I think that's better. Hey, so I wanted to talk about the Ten of Hearts today, y'all. Today's transformation card is the Ten of Hearts. I wanted to talk about the Ten of Hearts. My Uranus card and what I am displacing this coming birthday next week. My birthday is coming up, and I will be a Ten of Hearts. And the Ten of Hearts is about community, right? And I have it in Uranus. So this is about I have it in Uranus for life. So this is about building my own community, which is where my focus is. So many people have been hitting me up today. Where you at? I did you get hacked and all this other stuff? No, I'm not on Instagram anymore, y'all. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I am in the metaverse, though. You can follow me in Meta Horizons, but I'm not those places. So, if you wind up following one of my clones, I warned you here, spread the word. It's not her. If somebody comes in your inbox, it's not her. You can find me on Sob Social, and which is a community that I'm building up. I'm putting it up here. So that's where you can find me, Sob Social. So, you know what? My spirits told me today, they told me something real cute. They was like, if people talk about you, this is like people who are public, they got their own little communities. If they don't mention you when you around, but they mention you when you gone, then you know. Hey. So I have people that don't even talk to me. Don't post in my comments. Don't give me a shout out. So they don't know me, y'all. So don't, you know what I mean? Don't ask them. Hey, Ten of Hearts. So it's about community. It's about your successes with the people. But not even just your success, your failures will be with the people too. You know what I mean? So when I talk about success, y'all, sorry, y'all, I pulled the lash off. When I talk about success, I'm also talking about failure because there is no success without failure. So when it comes to the Ten of Hearts, your successes and your failures will be wrapped up in that card. That card was the Michael Jackson's card. That's Samuel Jackson's card. That's Lil Wayne's card. That's Sierra's card. All of that. This card has wonderful energies, especially for work. You know what I mean? It has better energies for work than it does even relationships. However, it does guarantee that at least at one point in your life, you can have a successful relationship. Look at Sierra. You know what I mean? At least at one point in your life. I find with the Ten of Hearts, you got to love people from afar. You know what I mean? Because that is a one to many card. It is not, it kind of sucks one to one, but one to many, that's where the success is. I'm actually gonna pull up the spread, y'all, so we can see the Ten of Hearts. And it's good because I'm gonna tell y'all something about cardology. When you pull up a spread, that spread begins to play out for everyone. This is about like the law of attraction. So I'm opening up a pretty blessed spread for y'all. So it's going to bring you some blessings. But this is the thing, this spread could bring you some blessings, but if you don't get out there in person in with yourself, then you won't benefit from the blessings. This is definitely at least I got to get out here and make a show at least one point in my life kind of thing. You know what I mean? Your blessings are not going to come from sitting at home with this, even though you may want to. That's the thing, because it transforms into the Queen of Spades. So you definitely are going to want to, you know what I mean? But that's not where your blessings are going to come from. Your blessings are going to come from forcing yourself to get out and be amongst the people or be in front of the people. You know what I mean? But this card has lots of good things. I'm super excited about this. This is the best card that you want to have to build a community, to build an audience, whether it's YouTube, your own community, and whatever the case may be. This is the best card to have. But like I said, you got to be deeply entrenched with the people. You know, you got to get down in the trenches. Like, you can't just spend time online with this. You got to get out. Think about celebrities. There's a lot of celebrities that have this card. This is another type of celebrity. Think about celebrities. They probably spend a lot of time on social media, but they also get out somehow amongst the people, and that's where their real, you know what I mean? That's where their real blessings are going to come. They do shows, they perform, they show up. They might do a walkthrough. They just might show up and get paid. That's what type of card this is. Like, you have this card, you could just show up and get paid. You know what I mean? But what makes this card such an anti-social social card is that Eight of Spades and Venus. Venus, remember, deals with like the social sphere, getting out and socializing. And the Eight of Spades is the card of willpower. It's the card of overcoming obstacles. It's really the card of overcoming negative thinking. You know what I mean? So having this card means that it's going to be a literal obstacle for you to get out. You're just not going to be feeling it. You're going to be feeling really negative about social events. But and some people get so negative that they get like stage fright, stomach hurt, everything. They don't really want to show up. But the Eight of Spades is guaranteed victory in an area if you do a thing. And the particular thing that you need to do with the Ten of Hearts is you need to get out there and socialize. You're going to need to get out there and be in front of people. So I'm moving towards more in-person things, showing up in person. And I'm moving away from so much social media activity, so to speak. And I already feel better. Like, I already feel greater. You know what I mean? I got a lot of great things and great projects in the works. Look, this has an Ace of Diamonds in Jupiter. Lots of projects out there in the world. It has an Ace of Hearts in Mars. Lots of opportunities to meet new people, especially in your work. So this is a really, really, really great card. I always get up here and forget to turn off my speaker, y'all. And this year I was displacing the Five of Spades. So if you don't know what displacing is, you see this chart that's up here. Every year it changes for most people. Some of you are fixed cards, so it will never change. It will change around you, but you will never move. Lord, 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 Lord. Can y'all hold on a second? Sometimes I be missing the opportunity of a lifetime, so I got to respond. I get opportunities of a lifetime. So I'm like, text me. People want meetings last minute, that type of thing. So I'm just trying to make sure I ain't missing the opportunity of a lifetime. She said, laughing my ass off. Sorry. That's my daughter. I'm like, okay. So I'm not missing opportunity of a lifetime. Peace, everybody. Or this failure first and success after. Absolutely. This brings those kind of lessons. You know what I mean? It has a Seven of Clubs peak. Anytime you see a Seven of Clubs, then you guys hold on one second. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to yell at my kid because they put on headphones and don't know if I'm on the live or not. So, because I come down here, my office is adjacent to everybody else's stuff. Hey, yes, I got to get my son together. You know it. And I'm not afraid to even show it. When you got 8 kids, but most of them are grown, you just really ghetto about that stuff. You really don't care that people, you know what I mean? That people hear you, you like, look, I got to shut my kids down real quick. Hold up, hold this for a minute. I gotta go out there and shut the kids down. Peace. Happy Veterans Day to you and to all the veterans out there, to all the service people serving our country. Unlike other folks, I definitely give it up to you because that's a job that I could not do. So I give it up to you. I do the same with my daughter. No shame. Yeah, and I have a bunch of sons, so you tend to want to be rougher with the boys. So you'd be like getting up, wanna look what I tell you. So, so that's 10 of hearts stuff. 10 of hearts is like it's a very welcome card. It sits in, and I want to show y'all, like when I be talking about the planetary rulership of stuff, it sits in the Jupiter Mars position, right? So Jupiter Mars tells you about the energy of it. So Jupiter, of course, is expansive. It could be business, it could be travel, it could be international travel, worldwide, global stuff. And then Mars is goals, ambitions, work, all of that, right? So this is like when it comes to women having this card, you really want a man who is, when you have the 10 of hearts, this is when you want a man who chases you because it has Jupiter, Mars, right? Jupiter is like Sagittarius, the archer, right? And Mars, that's goals, that's the hunt. So you want to be the hunted when you have that card, right? However, sometimes we have that card, and because it has the Ace of Hearts in Mars, we might be a little bit impatient and we try to hunt ourselves. You know what I mean? We get a little bit ambitious in that area. But this is a card where you don't want to be the ambitious one. As a matter of fact, you want to be the one like that, right? You want them to come for you. So if you're talking about relationships, if you have a 10 of hearts in your spread, I'm in alive. If you have a 10 of hearts in your spread and you're talking about relationships, you want them to come for you. Now, in the area of business and you have a 10 of hearts, that means that there's going to be people outside that's going to be interested in you, interested in doing business with you. You have many, many opportunities, but because it's Jupiter, you should get outside of your comfort zone and look far, look international, look out, look to where you can be expansive, go big, that type of thing. Another thing with the 10 of hearts is boundaries. Because it's Jupiter and Mars, Mars brings that little bit of discomfort, but there's a need for you to build boundaries with that card. There's a need for you to have boundaries because when you have that card, and let's say you go somewhere all the time, it doesn't mean anything to people. But when you leave and they don't see you for a while and you show up, you're like Michael Jackson with that card because that was Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson didn't go everywhere. He didn't go to everything. He didn't show up all the time. But when you go away and you come back, then you're well received. So that is your boundaries with that card. And if you notice, it has a 5 of hearts in Uranus. You know what I mean? So this is that case where the 5 of hearts, which is like a detached card, like it's different from the other hearts where the other hearts, they kind of smother, they got to be involved personally. The 5 of hearts don't want to be involved. That's the card of autism, so it's like back up off me, but it, because it's in Uranus, that backup off me can make people want you even more. You know what I mean? So that is like some huge level of stardom. So this is a card that you can really, really do well with when you get into your spread, but you definitely got to know how to play it. You got to know how to play it. And I think that's the difficulty with this card, is that a lot of people get it, but they get played by it. They don't know how to play it. It has the three of spades and Pluto. That's another card that speaks to having boundaries, believe it or not. You know what I mean? That's the card of division. So it's like dividing yourself from people, having your own space. You know what I mean? So when you have a three of spades, it's about having your own space. So when you see a three of spades in your yearly cards or whatever, then you get to opportunity. You should carve out your own space. You should people know this is my space. You're over there. And it could even be like with your relationships, your spouses. You can have a long distance relationship with a three of spades when you have a three of spades card, because this is when it could work, because that's a card that you need space for. You need space because you got work to do. You got a business to run. You know what I mean? You got all of that stuff. So you need space. So you're going to need to have a person who can respect the that you need space. Someone who feels secure too. So they don't feel like, oh my God, she's leaving me, or maybe she wants to leave me, or maybe she wants to cheat, or maybe he wants to leave, or whatever. They got to be like, oh, they're working, they're fine, I'm fine, that type of card, that type of energy. But that's what the three of spades is about. So, hey, how you doing? How you doing? So I am in the process of building a community. I'm building Sob Social. I built a community before, and I called it New. And when I launched New, I was spending out of my own pocket to get this community going. I had live streaming and all that other stuff, and that got to be really expensive, like super fast. So I had to put that on pause and rethink that. So I came back with Sob Social because, again, I wanted a space where people can be free if they're willing to be respected. If they're willing to be respectful, they can be free. You know what I mean? They could freely express themselves if they're willing to be respectful. And I think that is possible. I think that it's possible to express yourself and be respectful. And that's my vision of a community, is that kind of place. So that's what I was aiming to build. I'm also building kind of like a Twitter kind of site, but the Twitter site that I'm building is more on the informational side. Like Twitter is like supposed to be quote unquote a town hall, but we all know it's going to the you know what right now. And I want to build a place that for Black and brown people, and that community, we have a place to have a town hall, kind of like a underground railroad of sorts. And I'm working on getting that launched very soon as well. So it's not like Sob, where Sob is like it's about me and my community, which my other site, which I'm not going to name the name yet. I had the name, but is about us. You know what I mean? Are what the things that impact us as a community. That's like the news part. So yeah, I'm trying to build a media empire. Why not? You know? So I tell people, it's like when I say I want to be a billionaire, it's like, or something like that, it's because I want to build more things that can impact the community. But it's because I can, and I don't necessarily have to do it off of, or can't do it off the backs of people. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't. Now, if I have initiatives where I'm trying to get you to invest in stuff, you know what I mean, that I do, then that's different. But, uh-oh. She's back, y'all. She back. She be like, wanting my attention. I'm looking, especially on the Nine of Clubs days. Like, she just be wanting my attention. Is she back to bark at me? Yeah, she back to bark at me. Attention so much. But yeah. So those are some of the things that I'm working on. And then some people they wanted me to talk about guap and they wanted me to talk about crypto and stuff like that. Crypto is going to be very, very, very important. Um, can y'all take and put her upstairs, please? Hold on. I got to get rid of my knife child. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. Okay. I see what it is, y'all. She want to get walked and they got to walk her. Now she want to hide under me. Now she want to hide under me. But just leave her there for a second. She'll come out again and then grab her. So yeah. So crypto is going to be very, very, very important. The first thing you need to know about that, and I'm going to jump into that because that's going to be a part of the community. Blockchain and technology, AI, these are going to be some of the driving things behind community, right? And crypto is like we're literally moving into a digital money economy, a crypto, likely a crypto economy. And what's so good about that is crypto enables communities to bring value to the goods, products, and services and the things that they offer, even the imports and exports. Think about how we might get some type of thing that maybe we get from this little country that they give us, right? And they have middlemen that are selling their stuff and they're not really getting the true value. This little country can tokenize their stuff or they can come up with their own digital currency. And they can say that in order to get their stuff, you have to use their digital currency. See, that's why I'm not afraid when people talk about things like bricks and stuff like that. That doesn't make me afraid because I know that everybody has something to contribute in this world, you know? And so pulling back and saying, well, we're coming up with this currency and we're going to kind of dictate the markets and all of that is fine. But we live in a TikTok world, y'all. And what I mean by TikTok world is that there are so many people that have so many interesting things to offer the world that people wind up really, really, really loving and supporting. And I think that's one of the reasons why, we're given that type of thing as a superpower because it gives us value. So it's not just the things that have had value before there was social media, like you ordered in imports and stuff like that, but you yourself have value. You have something valuable that there are 100,000 people out there, maybe 10,000 people, maybe 20,000 people, but you have something of value that other people want. And that's up to you to discover it and to share it with the community. You know what I mean? So I'm oftentimes telling people when they come into me, hey, it's time for you to do social media. It's time for you to do YouTube. It's time for you to do some TikTok. But more importantly, it's time for you to put your face out there. It's time for you to spread your message. There's billions of people out here, right? And we're each programmed with different things that configure with different people. Like I talk about sometimes the light that we're configured with. That is the magnetic charge that attracts people to you is your field, you know? And sometimes our field is so distorted. You can distort your field with negativity. You can, and all of this dims your light. Like this is when they talk about dimming your light, you're dimming your field, right? And when you confuse and you dim your field, people who are supposed to interact with you, they don't know who you are. Like they can't, you're dimming yourself so that those people who are out there that are supposed to be able to recognize you by the light that you emit, by the field that you emit, they can't see you because it's either clouded with something or it's charged down with negativity or whatever. So you have to work on expanding your light and clearing out your field so that people know who you are so your soul family and stuff can find you so you can stop attracting these wrong people who don't really know who you are and they don't care. What they know is that you have a dim field and that because you have a dim field that you're likely controllable, that and they know that and they will take advantage of that. So these, I don't want to call them any names or whatever the case may be. Some people may call them energy vampires or whatever, but they're going to take advantage of the fact that your field is confused. Your field is got its charges are off and whatever. So you're more likely to be susceptible and to be a prey. They can prey on you in that way. So you have to do a lot of things to work on that field. And that's that eight of spades, by the way. Eight of spades, willpower. So you can do things that can charge up your willpower, that can also charge up your field. But then you also still have to work on your mind. So because your mind is a part of programming that whole energetic field that you have. So it's like now is the time. If there's ever been a time to work on your field so that you can start attracting and bringing the people who are supposed to be in your life. That time is now, like serious times. I know I jumped all the way from crypto to energy fields, but that shows you how deep crypto is. Okay. But at any rate, crypto is a transference of your value, right? You're taking your personal value and you're putting it in something that is going to represent your value, which is what money is supposed to do, right? Money is supposed to do something, it's supposed to represent value. Money is what they call fungible. Fungible is a key word you're going to hear in the crypto when they're explaining crypto. So fungible, that means that this has this set value, you know what I mean? And that we've established. There are things that people were using for money back in the days that were not fungible. The value changed no matter where you went. You go over here, somebody might not even care about this over here. So it would have zero value. Somebody might care about it over here, so it would have this value. So that doesn't work in a global society. Even the money that we have doesn't work in a global society. But what does work in a global society that's on a digital pipeline is digital money. So we're getting more and more global, and we need more ways to interact with one another that don't have barriers, that don't have control. There shouldn't be barriers between my money and your service. There shouldn't. Absolutely. We don't need what do you call it, babysitters and stuff like that when we're spending our money. We learn our lessons with our money. So if I spend my money and it's not good for me, I'm going to eventually learn my lesson through the money that I'm spending. You know what I mean? But under the guise of being your protectors, people have co-opted your money and co-opted your ability to grow money. So now we have this thing called decentralized money, which is crypto, which means that these people, these levels of controls, whether they're the banks, whether they're the Federal Reserve and all of that, they have no power there. You're trying to remove that power structure between you, your money, and other people so that you could just transact. Because if somebody can control that and they can put themselves in the middle, you can go poor really fast. You can go poor that way, right? You can go hungry because what if they decide that they want to cut you off from here, which they call sanctions or something like that? What if they decide they want to do that to you because they have the control over that money? So, if you want to go back and you want to look at the early days of crypto, if you want to look at Bitcoin, which by the way, Bitcoin is not what Bitcoin started out and was intended to be. Bitcoin is a jack of spades, right? And because why is it a jack of spades? Well, the white paper, I think the Genesis block, I'm sorry, the Genesis block, which is the first block that took place. It took place on a January 3rd, 2009, I believe, right? So that means that's when it was born. So January 3rd is a Jack of Spades day. So that made Bitcoin a Jack of Spades, which basically explains why it was largely used by criminals initially, and at one point, and criminals are the ones that actually blew up the value and the price and gave it a real use case, and also drugs, because in cardology the jack of spades is the card of drugs. You know what I mean? It's a card of prescription drugs more so, but then there's also illegal drugs and all of that. And at one point, one of the biggest markets in crypto was called the Silk Road, and their main product was drugs, even though they wind up selling other things like body parts, people, sex, blah, 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 right? And that is what truly gave the value that you see that kind of drew your attention was the underground and the criminal market, because it went from being valued at pennies to now being valued at dollars and other stuff, because it's scarce. It's not a lot of it. So when it's something scarce and people want it and they're using it, the price is driven up. So Bitcoin got its thing off of the backs of the criminal underground, right? And that's why back then no one wanted to deal with it. Not banks, not anybody. They was like, oh, that's that criminal money. That's that scammer money. Even the black folks in the community was calling it scammer money. That's that scammer money. You know what I mean? So that's how it got to be where, it was at that point. But then there was a turn that took place. And I'm going to tell you about the turn. The real turn took place when it was forked. So what forked mean is that people take the software and they use the same software core, but they build on it. They turn it into something else. But fork is like you can fork a chain. You can take a chain and you can split it off into a new chain. And that's what they did. They split it off into new chains. They created new chains. They had new things. Like this is where you now have Doge, and you had Litecoin, and you have Ethereum eventually, which that's a little bit of a different story. So now you got these different chains, right? But when Ethereum came into the picture, Ethereum became a chain of chains because it has something called smart contracts, which is like a whole operating system. So the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum was like the difference between DOS. I don't know if some of you remember DOS back in the days, like the non-GUI operating system in DOS was all black screen and you just type on it. It had DOS, and then now you have Windows, and that you can build more applications and stuff like that because it had a GUI interface and all of that. So now you have Bitcoin, which is like DOS. All it does is money. All it does is transactions. And then you have Ethereum, which gave it more capabilities. It could do more things. And one of the biggest things at the time that it could do is create more tokens. You know what I mean? So you can have your own token now, like easily, as easy as writing a smart contract. You can have your own token. So you have all of these people now creating these tokens and doing something called an ICO, which is an initial coin offering, right? So they would launch their coin, they would sell their coin at a cheap price, so that, and then they would take that money that they made off of the sale of the coin, and then they would put it on an exchange and they would put that money behind it. They call it like the liquidity behind that coin. So that coin would now have value, but if they made more money, it would push the value up, 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 up. So you have some new tokens that will come out there, but because they made so much money in the ICO, they now had what's called liquidity behind that coin. So a lot of your favorite coins and your favorite projects got to be big and got to be valuable because they pre-sold the coin early at a discount. And then they took that money and they did what I call buy the market. They bought the market. They actually paid for the value. So while y'all thinking that this coin is also great, they're still doing this type of thing to this day. They're still doing market making to this day, where they're taking a lot of money, cash money offline, and manipulating the market, making it look like a crypto is more valuable than it really is. So that's like a little background on that. But so you had a lot of that going on. You had the ICO days, and the ICO heyday. We had a real big rush in the ICO, and I believe it's about 2017. And in 2017, there was a lot of ICOs, and because there were ICOs, there was a demand for Bitcoin. The demand for Bitcoin went up because you had to buy into the ICO using Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the most popular one, and it was the easiest way to get into crypto at the time. So if I wanted to buy a new coin, I had to go buy Bitcoin first, right? And since I had to go buy Bitcoin first, that made Bitcoin more in demand because people wanted to get these other coins. So the price of Bitcoin went up and up and up and up due to that demand, right? But when did it go down? So by the end of 2017, like I remember in the beginning, it was either 2017 or 2016. In the beginning was like 400. I remember when it hit 400. 400 USD per coin for Bitcoin. And people were like, oh, wow, I should pay attention to you with this crypto thing because Bitcoin is up like $400, per coin. So people were getting really excited and it was going up and up and up. I saw it go to 3,000, then it went to 10,000. It went to almost about 20,000 and then it dropped by the end of the year back to 3,000. And the reason that it dropped is because all of those coins out there that started their own ICOs, they had accumulated a lot of Bitcoin. They began selling it. They began liquidating the Bitcoin they had for cash or trying to, which drove the price of Bitcoin all the way down because all these people that made all this money selling fake coins or selling scam coins or selling this coin, selling that coin, they was taking the exit out and they had to exit through Bitcoin. So the price of Bitcoin fell during that time. But why I say that it's still it's very heavily manipulated, y'all. And I know everybody's running around here screaming right now, oh my God, crypto is up, crypto is up. Give it a couple of weeks, it'll be back down. I'm pretty sure. And there's a huge crash coming anyway. So I know it's gonna be soaked up in that crash. But there's a book, if you want to learn a lot about what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how Bitcoin is manipulated now, get the book, The Hijacking of Bitcoin by Roger Ver. He's the founder of, what's it called? Bitcoin Cash. I had the pleasure of meeting him. He's a king of clubs. And he was an early Bitcoiner. And they used to call him Bitcoin Jesus because he used to give away little bits of Bitcoin. And he talks about how initially Bitcoin was not really, it was supposed to be made as a cash system. It was supposed to be a system where we'd be using to transact, but it wasn't built for that. It was going to have to be expanded. The block time was going to have to be increased. Like a lot of different things were supposed to happen, but the earlier developers, when they saw how much money it was bringing in by being so constrained, they left it like that. And in leaving it like that, it definitely took the jump from being something that was useful to the people to being what is called a store of wealth. So if it's called a store of wealth, it ain't for you to store wealth because you don't got that kind of wealth. It's for wealthy people to put money into, right? Store of wealth. And now you have the involvement of corporations like BlackRock and all these organizations and stuff like that that are selling Bitcoin ETFs on the market and this, that, and the third, and they're gaining a huge stake in Bitcoin. And that huge stake in Bitcoin could give them the power one day to turn around and fork it. Remember, we talked about fork. It could give them the power to fork it one day and then have control over it. So I say that. And the Bitcoiners, mind you, we call them Bitcoin maxis. They will argue me down to a T. However, guap coin has been around since 2017. I built it initially myself, and we're still here. But the beautiful thing about it is because we've said no so many times to the type of control that would come from somebody just trying to throw money at it, we've been able to keep it pristine for the people. See, the people in crypto are the power. If you have the people, then, and you're talking about the people consistently, then you can maintain a more level of control with the people, right? But if you got one or two people that come in and buy up everything, then you lose the value of having a decentralized crypto because you have someone who is manipulating it with outside money. Hey, everybody. So everybody's getting a little crypto lesson. People were asking me about crypto and were asking me about guap coin. So back in about 2018, we listed, I think it was 2018 and 2019, we listed on a exchange called Probit, which we're still on, and I'll type it here. And this is where you could get guap coin. from. You can get it from Probit. And the reason why I've been so good about staying with them is because they treated me very good in the beginning. They treated us good, treated us respectfully. And I've been through a lot of listing scams where you list your crypto on places and basically it's a big scam. You could lose a lot of money. I didn't have to pay that to list us on Probit. Probit is out of South Korea. And like I said, they really good, and they really they're very accessible. I can still talk to them to this day. So that's a good place where you can go and um you can trade guap. Now we just launched, and this is in beta. This is in beta, y'all. So, there still might be a little bugs, but we just launched guap swap. Just launched guap swap. And I will show y'all that in a second. Hold on. Let's go here. We just launched guap swap. Yes, I built this too. So guap swap is a marketplace where people can trade guap amongst themselves. We don't touch anything. It does not come through us. It's a place to connect someone who has guap with someone who wants guap. And we just recently launched that. And why do you want to have a platform that connects people? So what we do is, of course, we KYC people. So, and KYC means we put them through a little bit of an identity process to make sure that, you're not trading with someone that may be unsafe or at least untrackable. So that's what we just launched recently. So we've been doing a lot with guap. We've been building a whole ecosystem, and it's still here. We've had our issues, but every crypto has had their issues. But what's so incredible about what we've done and still being here is that we did all of this with very little money. All of these other chains, they raised millions and millions and even damn near a billion to put in these cryptos. I remember earlier there was EOS. EOS had one of the longest running ICOs ever. They raised, I believe, $4 billion, right? Mind you, they ain't even really around like that anymore. You know what I mean? So they raised $4 billion and then ghost, We didn't raise a million, not even half a million, and we're still here years later. So to me, that's something very special about what we're doing and very pristine about what we're doing with crypto. And I remember, and I'm a little superstitious, but I remember that an astrologer said at one point that the big crypto that was going to last and was going to be the people was going to be one that was founded by a woman. So here I am, because not only did I find it, but I built it. So that's a little bit about the back end of that. And I'm going to always, while I'm up here, I'm going to talk about crypto when people ask me questions and stuff like that. I plan on making this, this isn't just about cardology and astrology and all this other stuff. It is about life, because that's what I live. Like, my life ain't just all about cardology and astrology. My life is about business. My life is about spirituality. My life is about serving the people. So all of these things are things that I want to talk about. I want to vlog when I get out there, when I go camping, and when I travel the world and go places like that. I want to share as well on this channel. So that's why I decided that I was going to put more energy. And that's not even why the spirits told me I needed to put more energy in it. But that's why I agreed to put more energy in this. Peace. Peace. I will do readings occasionally. This weekend is real booked for me because y'all know it's my birthday weekend. I'm going to Barbados. So, and I definitely do some lives down there and stuff like that. It's my birthday weekend. But when I get back, I'll definitely make sure we have that. Building that high vibe community, making the unknown comfy come through. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a little bit of a delay up here. But yeah, so I had to share that. Today turns into the 10 of hearts, y'all. So the lesson in today, because it's a 9 of clubs day, is don't let things get you down too early. You know what I mean? wait around for your happily ever after. This is like one of those the nines are happily ever after cards, like the nine of spades, the nine of clubs. Today is a happily ever after card. So don't write off your happiness because things may look a certain way initially. You know, be at grace, keep doing the work, and you'll get your happily ever after as well. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. But I had to jump on here, even though I got a lot of work to do, y'all. I really got to get back to work and build these platforms. Soft Social is there. And what I'm doing with Soft Social as well is currently I'm working on the streaming and the audio rooms. I'm building out audio rooms so we can have those audio chats like, you know, like that other place has with their spaces. You know, they used to be called Twitter spaces. Hint, hint. So I'm working on some audio rooms like that and other things because believe you me, with the way things is looking over there, and I'm not gonna say it's a lot going on. Did y'all see that video about the videos that have been popping up about the cheating? Lord, I gotta share one with y'all. I swear, I gotta share this one with y'all. It's a good one. Hold on, y'all. I was actually trying to download the video, but I'm gonna see if I can share this with you. I don't know if I can share another YouTube video with y'all. Can I do that? But this is good. I don't know.
That Starlink was deployed in several battleground states. Listen to this.
They don't have communication. They don't have anything.
Y'all hear that?
We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that.
They use the hurricane as cover to mass deploy Elon Musk's Starlink all over. I must admit, that's a great cover. Get on TV and say you want to help people communicate, help people make it through this natural disaster. All the while, you have some deep-seated nefarious plan behind that. But it gets deeper.
Yesterday, an amazing day. We didn't have long lines after 8 p.m. Everybody got processed and through those lines quickly, and that's due to all of their hard work and dedication that they do out at the poll sites.
Registrar Michelle Baldwin says access to connectivity was improved this year thanks to Starlink satellite internet. She adds
Starlink, again owned by Elon Musk, massively deployed all over the United States under the cover of helping those hurricane victims, was directly connected to ballot counting machines. Is this why Trump said he doesn't need any votes? Was this his little secret he had going?
Our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over.
You're fucked, dude. I'm fucked. If he loses, I'm fucked.
It does seem that way. You can't just be like, yo,
I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think?
So many people have come online saying their vote wasn't counted, that their local state, their local county is saying their vote wasn't even registered. This is TikTok. Just type in "my vote wasn't counted" or "where did my vote go?" And there's thousands upon thousands of people saying their vote is missing. A lot of people showing proof. Something is definitely up. Donald Trump couldn't rig the election in 2020, so we got with the richest man in the world to buy one. And for those who don't know what Starlink is and what it's capable of, this is a video explaining it and how it was connected to so many ballot count.
No, I'm not gonna share that. But they had a lady up there and she was like very technical. And I know I God bless her. But and what nobody about to understand that. I'm a tech person. I understood it, but nobody else was about to understand what she was talking about. But what he said is that the news lady said they asked how were you able to count all those ballots so fast? Like, how was it able to go so smooth? And she said, well, this year, this is thanks to Starlink. Like, Starlink, isn't that owned by Elon Musk? Like, so the crazy thing about it is all of this stuff is going on the internet now, and it seems very credible, very valid, but you don't hear anything from Biden or Kamala or anything about it because they're likely working behind the scenes on it. So we're looking for Friday maybe to be some revealing stuff about this stuff. But anyway, that's the other side of the call today. I wasn't going to dwell too much on that because the spirits told me don't dwell on that. Just let them see. Don't tell them nothing. You already told them. Just let them see. So while everyone's panicking, I knew we have 70 more days. Absolutely. Get your popcorn, right? Get your popcorn. And then on top of that, people don't want you to speak on it. They want you to just go along with the program and maybe he's better for us and you're delusional. Well, I took my delusional ass over here to YouTube with all the other delusional people. So, if you're here, you're here. Think what you want of it. But, I definitely release the toxicity of IG and Facebook. And that's a big step, trust me, to be able to walk away from all that stuff. But I'm good. I'm going to be here and I'm going to be on Sob Social and I'm going to be on Aquarius Maximus. You can also reach me on my website on my contact form if you want to chat, if you have a question and all of that. I answer those contact messages on aquariusmaximus.com. Go to the menu on the side and click on contact me. So at any rate, y'all, I will see you. Thank you. You thought about me. Thank you. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. So peace.